Hey there, guys, and welcome back to the Syndicate. Mark here with another Twin Suns deck for you. Before we jump in, I just want to say I'm sorry for not getting a deck list or anything out last week. With Mother's Day over the weekend and everything, I have two kids, two young kids. It was a weekend full of me cooking and getting things going for my wife, so she didn't have to worry about taking care of the kids or cooking any meals, and it just took up all of my time for any sort of recording or even a quick edit. And so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a new deck list today, and instead of showing it you on the desktop, I'm going to show you on the physical desktop rather than on my computer's desktop, because I actually have this deck put together. Now, I've played this deck a couple of times and had a lot of fun with it. I actually played a different iteration of it, and I threw the deck together real hastily. The theme is heroism with Mandalorians. I wanted to be able to use Mandalorians. I actually used the heroism version of Boba Fett for it, but realized about halfway through the game that Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian in the heroism set, which makes a lot of sense. Lore-wise, I should have known that even, but I made the mistake. So I played that deck, lost pretty badly with some friends online, and then the following Monday put together this version of the deck, which you'll get to see here in just a moment. Saw a lot more success with it, played a couple of games, won one, was real close to winning the second Twin Suns game, and amongst this group of friends is actually the first time I've pulled a win off. I've always kind of been the target. I think I've brought relatively strong decks to every time I've played Twin Suns with some friends online, and you know, Twin Suns is a very unpredictable way to play the game, but a really fun way to play the game. We had some really great games. Just to give you a little framework, we were playing 4-player Twin Suns. We were playing against I was playing against a Han 2 Chewie deck, a Grievous along with Dooku deck that was running Vulture Droids, and then a very strong Vader Piet double green list that was running Vulture Droids as well, and just a ton of space units. That new set 4 Jump to Lightspeed Vader is just so strong. Like in a standard game, now with Django and Boba Fett removed, but also very strong in Twin Suns, just super hard to deal with and keep down. So grab yourself a cup of coffee if you have one. I have one here because it's in the morning, and yeah, let's take a look at the tabletop here. Let's talk about some Twin Suns lists. Okay, so for this list, we are going to be running Bo-Katan. This should be no big surprise to you. Bo-Katan has action. If you attacked with a Mandalorian unit this phase, you can just exhaust her to deal a damage to a unit. She flips on 6 resources as a 4/7, and then reads on attack, deal 1 damage to a unit. If you attack with another Mandalorian unit this phase, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. So she gets a double ping on attack if you've attacked with another Mandalorian. So obviously we're running a lot of Mandalorians in this list. Let's pull her off to the side. Our other leader that we're going to be running is the Mandalorian, who is, as you see, Mandalorian and Bounty Hunter. So these two do synergize and work together. He has, when you play an upgrade, you may exhaust a unit that has 4 or less remaining hit points. Now, this has not traditionally been super good in, standard games. Upgrades are not super good in that. I have found that what is really good about the Mandalorian, yes, you occasionally get some exhaust off. We have the introduction of all of the pilots from Jump to Lightspeed that does make this card a little bit more reasonable, this leader a little bit more reasonable to play. But on top of that, he's a Mandalorian that flips on 6 the same time that our Bo-Katan flips. And so we get on turn 6 2 4/7 Mandalorians, and on our flip side of our Mandalorian, anytime you play an upgrade, you may exhaust an enemy unit that has 6 or less remaining HP without exhausting the Mandalorian. Oftentimes in the early game, you're going to get like one trick off with the Mandalorian, and then you might get like one more off if you're saving an upgrade on turn 6. What I have found is this deck's goal is it's ground lane heavy. It has some space. It has some tricks. I'll show you the base here in just a moment that we're playing with this. But really what this deck wants to do is it wants to get to 6, flip Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian on the same turn, and take control of the game from there. And it does so quite well. This deck is very, very snowbally if your opponent can't deal with it right away. Okay, let's take a look at our base. We're going to be playing the Shield Generator Complex. You could play anything that you want, really, in the blue 30 health base. I chose Shield Generator Complex because I like how it looks. It's not Dagobah Swamp, but I like the shield generator complex, and Dagobah Swamp feels like a very Luke or a very forced user base to use. So we went ahead with the shield generator complex. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through the costs. We actually have costs 1 through 9 in this list. I have them set out up here. We're gonna go over units. And then space units, ground units, space units. Then we're going to hit events, and then we're going to hit upgrades. So I'm going to show you what we have. In the one drop, we only have the new R2D2. This is one resource, 1/4, which is really not good for us. But the more important thing is that zero cost piloting upgrades. You can play this out, give something +1/+1, still put another pilot on it, and exhaust something with the Mandalorian. When we come to our 1-cost events, we're going to play the Hate This Ship. I got to play this in our game this past Monday and really, really enjoyed it. Giving one of my friends 2 TIE fighters really did endear him to me and stopped him from attacking me for a few turns, which was great. And I got to cheat out the yellow Millennium Falcon, the 6-cost early. Daring Raid just for some removal. Confiscate to deal with those really annoying leaders that come out as upgrades. And then Snapshot Reflexes, just a cheap upgrade that gives a +1/+1, allows you to attack. And with the Mandalorian, also allows you to exhaust something. That can be really strong in a Twin Suns game. You can go up against 2 people at once with that. Attack 1 person, exhaust something else from somebody else. Screw up the math for 2 people is pretty good. Now for our 2 drops, we have a huge stack of 2 drops. This is a pretty low to the ground deck. So we're running Crafty Smuggler, 2/2 with shield, Grogu, a 0/5 that can exhaust an enemy just by exhausting. You could probably run something other than this card, but I have the event exclusive, so I kind of wanted it in there. The new Anakin, because he's a 2-resource 2/3, but also he can be played as an upgrade to trigger the Mandalorian, similar with Hera, 2-resource 2/3 with Restore 1, but can be played as an upgrade. We got the Clan Wren Rescuer. This is a 2-resource 1/2, give an experience token to a unit, so this can come down as a 2-resource 2/3 that puts out an experience token, and he's Mandalorian Trooper, so he's going to be able to trigger with Bo-Katan. Frisk, we're in red now, 2-resource 3/2, which is a little bit better than the 2/3s, but then he also has a pilot ability that allows you to defeat upgrades, which is pretty good in the beginning of the game. A lot of times upgrades can kind of get your opponent snowballed out of control. Housecast Soldier, a 2/3 was Saboteur for 2, but it's a Mandalorian, so it's in here. Sabine Wren is probably one of our MVPs. She does trigger her while there's at least 3 aspects among other friendly units. This 3 different aspects among other friendly units. This cannot be attacked. That does come up. Plus, she's a Mandalorian. Plus, she's just a beast in the early game. Kitso Onyo, also pretty good. 2-resource 3/2 with Saboteur, which is a Mandalorian and also has another benefit. Those are going to be our ground units for 2 drops. Let's take a look at our space units. We have 4 of them. First, we're running the copy of Fireball. This is a 2-resource 3/3 with ambush, deals 1 damage to itself at the end of the round. Even without the synergistic leader to go with it, this card is still a 2-resource 3/3 with ambush and space. So still worth running. The Green Squadron A-Ring, of course, the 1/3. We want to be able to target this stuff and be able to get some upgrades on things. So that's why we're running these. Anakin's Interceptor and then the Restored Arc. A lot of these are just, they're just cheap space units that we can throw pilots on early in the game. We're running just 2 different events in 2 cost. You might be surprised by these. Bamboozle, probably no surprise. This is another just sort of like anti-upgrade leader synergy. This just reads, you may discard a cunning card from your hand instead of playing this cost, and then you exhaust a unit and return each upgrade on it to its owner's hand. And of course, this just gets rid of things like a Vader, like a Red Boba Fett, like a lot of the other, really powerful units that come out as leaders, that come out as upgrades. And then we're running Sword and Shield Maneuver. I'm running a lot of Jedi sort of towards the top end of this deck, and so I decided to run this. You could certainly replace this, but I've always wanted to make this card work because I think it's really interesting. So it says, give each friendly trooper unit raid 1 this phase, give each friendly Jedi unit Sentinel this phase. The idea, of course, being we put a decent-sized Jedi, give it Sentinel, and then all of our Mandalorians, very frequently, a lot of, especially our lower-end ones, several of them, the cheap ones, are troopers as well. Okay, we have 3 upgrades in this slot. We're going to go with first Jetpack. Of course, this is a card that could be smuggled. When played, give a shield token to an attached unit. At the start of the regroup phase, defeat that token. So yeah, this is just a cheap upgrade that we can put out for 2. We can also throw it in the resource row and smuggle it out later on. Arm to the Teeth is very strong. Obviously, we're going pretty aggressive here. These are both +2/+0s. Attached unit gains on attack, give another friendly unit +2/+0. And of course, this also has a smuggle for 4. These are very similar cards. And then the Electro Staff. This card is so strong in Twin Suns. So you attach it to a non-vehicle, gives +2/+2, and then whenever it's defending, you actually lower your opponent's attack by 1. One of our games, I put out a Sabine Wren on turn 1, Electro Staff on turn 2, and that was just kind of it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was really hard to come back from that. I ended up winning that Twin Suns match just because my Sabine was a 4/5 swinging for 5, and if you attacked into it, they lost 1 attack, and it was just really strong. That's it for our 2 drops. We have an equally large-sized pile of 3 drops. Running Ahsoka Tano just because I love her, and if you've heard me do videos before, I do think she gets arguably decently better in Twin Suns than she is in normal, but she is a 3-resource 3/4. That's kind of what we're looking for. Night Owl Skirmisher, because it's another Mandalorian. It can be smuggled out. It's a 4/3 for 4. We got Briggs in here, another cheap pilot, but importantly enough, it's also a 3/4 for 3 if we need it. Cassian Andor is a 3/5 for 3. Very strong. Also can be smuggled out and readied. Obviously, this is one of the most powerful 3 drops in the game. You got to have it in there. The Cassian Andors are really interesting. So this is a 3-resource 3/4 as well. But then if you pilot it for 2, it's a +1/+3, and on attack, discard a card from the defending player's deck. If it costs 3 or less, draw a card. So a little bit of mill to get rid of. I love seeing this happen because I frequently, if you discard something small, you get to draw a card. That's fantastic. If you discard something big, you get rid of your opponent's 1 singular copy of that big card. I love Cassian Andor for that. Plus, the Hyperfoil doesn't hurt. Village Protectors, just because it's a completely OP card in Twin Suns, and everything, really. L337. This is a newer card, too. It's a 3-resource 3/3, which is not as good. But it says if this unit would be defeated, you may instead attach her as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit without a pilot in it. And it pilots for a +3/+3. So you're going to throw this down, allow it to get killed, trade in with it, and then throw it on to one of your vehicles, hopefully. We're running Yoda, which, no reason to really talk too much about Yoda, just a really strong card, and a Jedi for our sword and shield maneuver. The Mandalorian Warrior, when played, give an experience token to another Mandalorian unit, just a 3-resource 3/3, but it's another Mandalorian. When it comes to our 3 drops for ships, we got a wide range of ships as well. We're running the Millennium Falcon. The Disabling Fang Fighter, uniquely enough, not only is this very good against decks that are running pilots, but it is also a Mandalorian ship. We're running Red 5. On attack, you may deal 2 damage to a damaged unit. Obviously, there's more damaged units out during Twin Suns frequently than a normal game. Red 3, because a lot of our units in this deck are heroism, so this is a powerful card in and of itself. The Concord Dawn Interceptors, you might not notice, not only is this a great Sentinel, but it's also a Mandalorian, so pretty good for us. The Millennium Falcon, the new one, you can have 1 additional pilot in this, and it gets +1/+0 for each pilot in it. So yeah, throw R2-D2 in this sucker, throw Fisk in this sucker, you get a pretty strong Falcon pretty early. And then Sabine's Masterpiece. Now this in itself, interestingly, is Spectre, but it is not a Mandalorian, even though the other Sabine cards are Mandalorian. Let me group these up here. But it can do a whole bunch of different things, which are really cool. And of course, we are going to have blue, red, and yellow. So we can heal 2 damage from a base. We can deal 1 damage to a unit or a base, and then we can exhaust or ready a resource with this card. We're never going to get the chance, really. Very frequently, we have 1 command card in this deck. We'll see it in a minute, to give an experience token to unit. That's probably the most powerful version of it, but I do like this card, period, because, you might be able to get 2 or 3 of those benefits off. For our actions, we have 4 actions. We're going to run Waylay and Spare the Target. Basically the same card in this format. Open, fire, and make an opening. And make an opening is just kind of like, this is the poor man's perilous position, which we are running in the 3 slot as well. But hey, it's good to have duplicates. That's basically a duplicate. And then, open fire is just a good card. For our upgrades, we are running Vambrace Flamethrower, a +1/+1 for 3. You have to attach it to a non-vehicle unit. And then on attack, you may deal 3 damage divided among enemies, units, ground units. Love this card, and we're playing Mandalorian, so you have to play the Flamethrower, right? The Perilous Position and the Jedi Lightsaber for our upgrades. Really good card here, and we have several Jedi, especially in the top end, but this is even good as just like a straight up +3/+3 on a Kitsu Onyo or a Sabine Wren in the early game. And then the Mandalorian's Rifle, of course. I saved this in one game. If you don't know what this does, when played, you can attach, when played, if the attached unit is the Mandalorian, he captures an exhausted enemy non-leader unit. Of course, capturing a unit with your leader is better than capturing it with any other unit, and it does make our Mandalorian a 7/7. I held this in opening hand one game, and it pushed so much unseen damage. +3/+0 is a big deal, especially on a leader. And then I was able to capture a village protector, really is what won me that game. Okay, let's go on to our 4 drops. We're running the new Sabine Wren, 4/4 for 4. When it's exhausted, it cannot be attacked. And when you attack, you can discard a card from your deck. And if it doesn't share an aspect with your base, you deal 2 damage to a ground unit. That is going to happen relatively frequently, which is super cool. Ahsoka Tano, 4 resource, 3/5. When played, you make someone discard a card. If they discard a unit, you can exhaust a unit. You can kind of do some politicking with that. K2SO should be in every Twin Suns list that it can be in because it makes everybody discard a card or deal 3 damage to everyone's base. Steela, because it lets us dig, both when played and when defeated, lets us dig for a tactic card. All of our removal, for the most part, is tactics. We'll see that in a moment. Casca Reeves. So this is a new one, and I actually really ended up liking this. So 4/5 for 4 is not bad stats, right? We have a lot of 3/5s for 3 at this point. So, this is one more attack for one more cost. But then it has a benefit when this unit is upgraded on attack, you may deal 2 damage to a ground unit. I got this upgraded at one point, and it's far easier to upgrade this with things like experience tokens or shield tokens in this deck to be able to get that 2 damage off. But she's pretty resilient as a 4-drop, and yeah, I've enjoyed playing her. Another deck card you could potentially remove, but she does have the Mandalorian and the Trooper tag for us. So, looking for Jedi, we got Kanan. Kanan's just a great 4 resource, 4/5 again, like relatively solid stat line, does a little bit of healing. We have a lot of Spectre units in this deck just because we have the other Sabines and and then also Sabine's ship in this deck. We're looking at 4 drops for ships. We're running the Razor Crest, the new one. It reads, when a pilot attaches to this unit, you may return a non-leader unit that costs 2 or less, or an exhausted non-leader unit that costs 4 or less to its owner's hand. So you play, an upgrade on this, put a pilot in it, exhaust something, and then bounce it back to their hand. So it's basically turns your Mando ability into a bounce ability. And then the old Razor Crest, just restore 2 is very strong in Twin Suns, and then it lets you bounce an upgrade back to your hand. Now, interestingly enough, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of our pilots over here. So this would not count. You can't return like a pilot that has an upgrade ability on it because it is a ground unit. You'd have to actually return, one of these upgrades. But we are running a lot of upgrades. So it's a pretty target-rich environment. And then in our 4 drops, we're just running, direct hit, take down, fell the dragon. All good removal, all tactics as well, which means all of them can get searched for by our Stella Guerrera as well, which is pretty strong. And then our last one is the Darksaber, right? Because this attaches to a non-vehicle unit, and if it's a Mandalorian unit you're attaching to, you get to ignore its aspect penalty, and then you can give 3 experience tokens out. Oh no, each other. I thought it was 3. It's all others, and it's a 4/3. So yeah, this card is very good to hold in your hand if you have it for turn 6. Flip the Mandalorian, flip Bo-Katan, and then put the Darksaber on one of them. Attack, then your Bo-Katan is active. You're exhausting something because you played the Darksaber on somebody. Yeah, really super strong. on turn 6. Okay, 5 drops. All of our stacks get a little bit less at this point. For 5 drops, we're running Han Solo for his upgrade ability, but he's also 4/5 with ambush for 5. Plo Koon, ambush, coordinate 3, really good, and we oftentimes will have coordinate active with this deck because we have a pretty dominant ground lane. Clan challengers, 3/6 with raid 2. If you upgraded it, it gets overwhelmed. So it's kind of like a 6/6 if you upgrade it with whatever the bonus it gets from that. Poe Dameron, just because, hey, we're playing Red Heroism, you can't not run Poe Dameron. Anakin Skywalker, stat stick, 5 mana, 5 resource, 6/6. It's just strong, and once again, we'll frequently have coordinate up. And then, interestingly enough, we're running the Armorer. So this is a Mandalorian. I've played this card a decent amount on the turn 6, and so you flip Bo-Katan, you flip the Mandalorian, you play the Armorer, shield the Mandalorian, Bo-Katan, and the Armorer all at the same time. And yeah, all 3 of them, both your leaders and the Armorer get shielded. I don't know if I said that right, but super strong for that, and makes you have a really resilient board that's super hard to deal with on the turn that you flip. Almost guarantees that you're going to get to go into next round with your leaders out. The Survivor's Gauntlet, a 4/5 Mandalorian vehicle in transport. When played on attack, you may attach an upgrade on a unit to another eligible unit controlled by the same player, so we can push some upgrades into space if we need to on our opponents, or we can take some of our stuff and push it somewhere else. It has to be eligible, right? And so you can't just take like a pilot and put it on the shoulders of your ground unit. We can't. Bo-Katan's not coming out and doing a piggyback ride with Han Solo or anything, but as long as it's eligible, you can trade around some upgrades on it. Plus, it's a Mandalorian. Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite, a 4/6 for 5 in space is good, and then on play and attack, you can deal damage to this unit to deal 2 to another space unit. This helps us clear up space lane a little bit. Commandeer, man, this card is so strong. Much better in other decks that want to sacrifice stuff, but good here too. Take control of a non-leader vehicle unit that costs 6 or less without a pilot if you do ready it at the start of the regroup phase. Really like this card a lot. And then Vanquish, just because it's a tactic and it's removal. Here we go, guys. Heading into 6. We got another Mandalorian, Fen Rao, 5/6 for 6. When played, you may play an upgrade from your hand, and it costs 2 less. And when you play an upgrade on this unit, give the enemy unit -2/-2 this phase. Combines well with the Mandalorian, obviously. Running Obi-Wan, running the Mandalorian. They're basically the same card. 5/6, 4/6. One's going to give experience tokens. One's going to shield up when played. Both pretty strong. And, hey, if you got something small that's upgraded, this is going to be able to heal it and also shield it twice, which is great. We got the Falcon, the 5/5 with ambush that can be smuggled out, and then Arrival's Fall just for some removal. Okay, we're really getting to the end here now, guys. So Han Solo, just our 7-drop Han Solo, 6/6 with ambush that doesn't take damage back, or deals its damage first, rather. So pretty strong. Mace Windu for a 7-drop, and then Luke Skywalker. No surprises there. For our 8 drops, we're just running Redemption, because it's a 6/9 with Sentinel in space that can heal you, which is pretty strong. That also saved my butt 1 game in Twin Suns. And then for our 9 drops, we're running Home 1, because I have the prestige version of it, so why not? 7/8 with ambush is pretty good, but this can be, instead of 9, frequently is a 6 cost, because you're not playing a lot in space. Your opponents are getting a lot of stuff out in space, so that's pretty good. You could also, cheat this out even earlier pretty easily with They Hate That Ship, and then Profundity, the 9 resource. 8/9 with Overwhelm. Once again, got the Hollow Prestige version, so kind of have to run this one. That's the entirety of the deck, running Mandalorian Bo-Katan Blue. I hope that you like it. If you like and enjoy playing Heroism, and you like some of those powerful red and blue Heroism cards, if you like playing Mandalorians, this might be a deck for you to check out. Super strong in the ground lane. Really fun deck to play. That's going to do it for the video this week. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope, you give it a chance to try it out. If you have some suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments below what you would change out or what you would do a little bit differently. Thank you for checking out this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you know when I'm putting out new content. I try to put out a new video Twin Suns related or a new Twin Suns profile basically once a week on Wednesdays if I can. And so, yeah, it'll let you know whenever I'm putting something out. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Appreciate you being part of the syndicate, and we'll see you in the next one.